Okay, in this video, let's take a look at Jin Young Ko, world #1 and winner again this week on the LPGA Tour. Great golf swing, truly an amazing golf swing, just effortless, the way she makes the game look. And I really think the thing that highlights her game overall is the way that she pivots and moves, sort of what we call in the old school, in the barrel. So in the old school, we kind of talked about turning inside of here without swaying, without moving and shifting laterally throughout the golf swing. And she makes an amazing pivot back and through, super consistent. And you can just tell that the way she does it, very natural for her. So as she goes back, this hitting a fairway wood or high lofted wood, you can see as she's going back, she's simply turning directly around. There's not a shift. It's just turning, the hips turning straight around. So she is still in the middle of the barrel at the top there. Her spine angle still holding exactly the same as it was at address. As she comes back through, like most players, a slight shift to the left to get some pressure in the left foot without a sway. So there's pressure in the left foot without a sway. And does she move laterally towards the front of the barrel? Yes, but still inside the barrel. So you can see the left hip clearly inside the blue line there for an amazingly simple turn. There's that classical great player impact position, hands leading the club head coming through. And if you look how long her club stays square at the bottom there, just classical positions where as the club tracks through the bottom of the arc, it is not twisting and moving. And then finally it releases and rolls later. So she gets full power and full release, but as it's coming through the bottom, she's letting it just naturally come through without any hand action. And then naturally the forearms cross later. And then that classical position she gets into, very recognizable how she looks inside the feet with great balance. Looks incredibly strong and flexible to stay in that exact same position throughout the swing. We take a look at a wedge shot here, not quite as good of footage in terms of clarity, but we can see some great lines to the plane of the golf swing. So here she starts out with this approach shot. This shot was hit in there about 4 feet. Up the plane it goes. Classical position at the top, flat left wrist as we can see there. And let's get this plane blind back in here where it should be. Cameraman moved a little bit. And there comes that club back down to the plane. And like we've seen some other players, as they're hitting these wedge shots especially, you can see as the club tracks through there, the player is staying in posture in the same angle. Club back on the plane or very close to it. And with these wedges, the handle disappearing to the left, going this way. And that allows the club face to stay square for a long time as she comes through. And like we said from the other clip there with the utility wood, the strength that she seems to have in the legs and core to just hold this position exactly through the shot really is amazing. Kind of a unique look for any of the tours to stay in this sort of similar positions all the way to the finish. But she makes it look very easy in terms of playing the best golf in the world. Okay, one more approach shot here. She's going up the hill at this hole at the ANA Inspiration out in California. Great setup position. And you'll see plane-wise, she's very good at working the swing plane. Club up the plane beautifully on the takeaway, hinging it up into great position here. Flat left wrist like we see with lots of golfers who are really in that consistent zone all the time. And as she comes down, the most unique part really to her swing is that from a high position here where the triangle is up in front, that she's able to bring that club back down. This move right here as her hips are clearing to get the hands right back down through the hitting area close to where they started. Typically, a player that's that high up would tend to have the hands or in the club working on a little steeper plane out here. She does not. She brings it back down, right forearm on the plane, flat left wrist, right through there, and she is in between her feet rotating. If we were looking at the video, if we were looking from the front, we would see she is just totally solid inside the feet, rotating, and now with great position and balance. Amazing strength to hit that position every time. From the face-on look here, we can see this another iron shot going into the green, just a wedge shot, and quite a wide stance. This is something that I really wouldn't have a lot of players do, that wide of a golf stance for the wedges. You do have to have the flexibility in the hip joints, the flexibility overall to be able to stay, to rotate properly with a wide stance like that. But for her, she's clearly found that it is to her benefit to have a wider stance and turn inside that position. And here we see, once again, that great pivot motion inside the barrel. And if anyone watching this video struggles with your backswing, watch this position here. This is a classical pivot. Hopefully you can see that she's turning the hips directly in the center of the barrel going back. And as she comes back through, turning back through as she goes in to the ball. Her left hip is not outside of her foot. It's certainly inside. And now, like we saw from the other angles, amazing leg strength to hold this position with perfect balance. Interesting look. I say unique on the tour. Amazing strength, however. One last clip here looking at the wood swing. For those of you who struggle with the plane on the downswing, if you're over the top or you feel like you're a handsy golfer, watch the transition motion. The club is going to be going, the arms and the club are still coming up to the top here. And as they reach the top, just before they get there, you see the lower body just starting to work the other direction. So you start to get the lower body really creating the power. The arms are being pulled down by the fact that she is pushing downward into the ground and also rotating at the same time. And that allows the arms and hands to come down with all this lag where the wrist angles are holding. And so at this point here, the club is being pulled down by the body and not the arms. And even though it looks like the arms might be pulling, trust me, they're not. They are being pulled through by the rotation here and the fact the legs are really working. You can see the muscles flexing in the legs there. Kind of proves the point there of the legs working to drive the club down through the hitting zone. So even in through here, this whole power area where the club is picking up all of its speed and coming this direction, all the result of the body rotating and the fact that the legs have this pressure downward and the arms are not pulling. There's no hit there with the hands, and that allows her to be super consistent. And like I said, world number one. Okay, well, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Thanks again for watching. If it's your first time to the channel, please consider subscribing. If you like the video, hit that like button, and we'll see you in the next one.